Can I roll for savvy to check on whether or not the two-penis snake thing is real?
Oh, yeah, wait, above the table. Is that true?
Yeah. All the facts are going to be true.
Prepared.
I got several pages in the notebook.
Find a secret hidden dick and tie my dicks together, and that's just gonna kill me. And like it's like
what
it's
I love
horrifying
too is like it's sort of like the lead into it. It's like I can imagine like a threatening noir style speech. It's like, let me explain something to you. And like it's sort of like I'm laying out the facts, and the facts are very threatening. In this case, the facts are just like facts. The moon blew off of the earth. Like, all right, it's like you sound so threatening, but I think you're just explaining facts to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let me explain something to you. Yeah. Put that on my list of things I will say.
Also, the unfolding of that, of like, oh, there's as many snakes as there are snake penises.
This is my job.
I forgot about women snakes.
How dare you? Everyone always forgets about women.
My job is to take facts like snakes have two dicks and turn them into facts like there's one snake dick for every snake.
Yes.
That's the whole job.
Yeah, what about snakes that lost their dick? It's a slightly less than
no, that's so. Also, don't snakes breed in a big? Some of them breed in a big knot. And so I'm like, oh, if you had two dicks, it would maybe that leads to snake knot behavior where it's like, well, there's enough dicks to go around.
All right, we're all thinking it, so I'll say it out loud. How big are these dicks?
They're not. So they are not technically penises. They're called hemipenes.
Okay.
And it's more like the penis branches at the base.
So it's like
just like their tongue.
Yeah, they're forked sticks. But you can't see the fork at the end. It's like it's in the area where the
I do know echidnas
still
have a
hidden.
four-pronged penis.
Oh.
No?
But it looks like this. It's not like
it's
not like four of them.
Looks like Knuckles.
It surely
That's why
looks
Knuckles
like
is called Knuckles.
Yeah.
Hey, it's my friend
flares at the
Knuckles.
end.
Yes.
Show you a good time.
One of the worst things I've ever seen. I just saw it on television.
Yeah.
But truly
I was
revolting.
wondering why you'd seen.
Yeah, I watched a program on marsupial sex, and it was one of those like, I'm mature enough to watch this and not laugh, and it was like one of the most horrifying. Kangaroos have heat-sensing penises because they have to get real deep in there and like wobble around in there, and like there's like
Heat.
Find the right way, the right path.
Exactly.
The multi-path vaginal canal is like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it was.
There's a lot of animals
I'll
that have
also
that.
say, though, I'm not as impressed with heat-sensing penises. I would argue that most penises can sense heat.
Yes, I had that thought as well.
Tell me something I don't know. As a guy who puts my dick on a lot of stoves, I can tell you right now, they sense heat.
God, your dick's covered in burns. Like, well, I know what's hot and what's not.
I'm enjoying watching Brennan just like file away all of this like new animal knowledge.
Love that. There was a great article about it was John Dee and then an early scientific contemporary. I'm going to get my history wrong here. It was either like Copernicus or Galileo or something, and it talked about the punk rock beginnings of science. We call a lot of things punk rock, but there was a cool in the analogy of it that someone like asked Bishop John Dee a question, which was like, how fast would these two things fall from if you took a stone and a feather and they did it, something like that. And John Dee was like, well, Aristotle tells us, like all knowledge based. And that early scientist was basically like, I don't fucking know, let's find out. You get a rock and a feather. And they're like, the foundations of like, we live in a world that's so technological and technology has this relationship to science, even though they are two separate things, that there is this attitude of science as authority. But it's like the foundations of that science are non-authoritarian compared to what came before it, of like, I don't fucking know, man, let's find out. Like, get a thing, drop it, and we'll see.
Pythagoras was a communist who ran a math cult that murdered a guy because he gave away the secret of perfect numbers.
It's interesting to see throughout science also how many things happen that are the unexpected outcome, right? Like how many inventions show up, how many like drugs show up where you're like, oh, this was not what we were trying to do at all.
Like Viagra. The story of Viagra is so funny of like, well, we gave this heart medication to these guys and it didn't work, but they won't give us the medication back.
Like penicillin, right? Like the microwave is another. There's just tons of stuff where it's like, it's very rarely what they were going for. And then it's like, needing to have the sort of like mentality to be like, oh wait, but we can do it this way instead, you know?
Yours are way more important than mine because the only thing I could think of was the chocolate chip cookie.
Chocolate chip cookie was
You don't know about the chocolate chip cookie? Do I know a fun fact? I know a fun fact. You know it too?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm excited because I like when I know things and I get to explain them. So the inventor of the chocolate chip cookie was just trying to make a chocolate cookie, but didn't have the necessary things and was like, oh, if I put the chips in the dough, it'll be chocolate. And so then when it came
Melt in the end of it.
Now I'm
Yes,
imagining
this
a
woman who
child.
did-
Oh, a woman, sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, the woman who did it thought that it would totally diffuse into the cookie due to the heat of the oven, and instead, she made the greatest cookie of all time.
Whoa,
do
whoa,
think-
Snickerdoodle wants a word, bro.
Fuck you.
I just I
do love
just
peanut
went
butter
to Insomnia in New York with Izzy and got fresh chocolate chunk cookies out of the marron.
I do think that is something of a common myth about the invention of the chocolate chip cookie.
Did you just match
Double twist.
You have to say it. You actually do have to say
Actually, I don't think that the chocolate chip cookie story is actually true. I think it's a common myth. I only learned this recently because I was listening to a podcast about chocolate chip cookies. But yeah, the woman who invented it, who owned the Toll House or worked there, like she invented lots of different recipes and tried lots of different things. And I think her goal was to be like, yeah, I'm just like, this is one of like 20 different cookies like I've made here. And I don't remember exactly like what the genesis of it was like, of like the big story of like, oh, it was a mistake. Could have been rooted in misogyny, being like, she didn't know what the fuck she was doing. And like, they just like, but we can fact check it. But I think just because I was listening to it like a month ago. Or
So like on that note, one of the things that's really fascinating about all American desserts is if you dig into them, a staggering amount of what we consider canonical American desserts are inventions by corporations to sell flour, to sell sugar.
Well, they figured out really cheap ways to make stuff. And they were like, what can we make with the cheapest stuff?
So then it was like, so like things like key lime pie is a complete marketing invention.
My family has this like legendary banana pudding recipe. You have to do like a double broiler, all this stuff. I make it all the time. It's like the thing that I'm known for. And then one time I was at the store and I was going to go get Nilla wafers and the whole fucking recipe's on the back of the goddamn box. Family recipe. We take it everywhere. We're known for our delicious banana pudding. Right on the back of the fucking box.
The Hershey's chocolate like default cookie. Like everyone's like, ooh, a little coffee. It's like, yeah, they figured that out because it's food scientists working at these companies being like, we got to figure out a way for people to use our stuff, to sell that thing.
Well, folks, I'm ravenously hungry.
See you in the brain.